David sat alone in his cozy, dimly lit living room, the soft, rhythmic ticking of the antique grandfather clock the only sound breaking the silence. His attitude was mirrored by the rain outside, which hit the windows with a regretful symphony. His mind began to go back to a long-ago period, to a painful chapter he had worked very hard to forget. Jack. Each horrible memory that surfaced in response to the name was worse than the one before it. David had thought of Jack as a brother from another mother and a childhood friend. But Jack had broken that trust in the past. He had taken David's life savings, leaving him in a terrible financial situation. For years, David had carried the weight of that betrayal, the anger, and hurt simmering beneath the surface. But tonight, something inside him had shifted. A strange thought had crossed his mind. David had recently discovered that Jack had also experienced a financial crisis, and the information caused him to experience a strange range of emotions. David chose to contact his old friend on a whim, a choice he struggled to justify to himself. With trembling fingers, he dialed Jack's number. The line rang once, twice, and then a hesitant voice on the other end said,
"Hello? Jack, it's David."
Then Jack replied,
"David, it's been ages. How've you been?"
David hesitated, unsure of how to proceed. Then he blurted out,
"I heard about your troubles, Jack. I thought maybe we could meet up, talk about old times, and maybe find a way to put the past behind us."
Jack's voice wavered slightly.
"I'd like that, David. Let's meet at the old tea house on Elm Street tomorrow evening."
The following evening, David sat at a corner table in the dimly lit tea house, a pot of fragrant jasmine tea in front of him. His heart raced as he waited for Jack. Later, Jack entered, appearing older, more old, and more humble than David remembered. He sat down across from David, and their silent conversation said volumes as their eyes connected. As they started talking, you could feel the tension in the air. David hesitantly brought up their common past, talking about the suffering and difficulty he had gone through after the betrayal. For the first time, Jack listened while displaying regret in his eyes. They recounted tales of their early years, their aspirations, and the pathways they discovered as their meal went on. David came to the realization that Jack was not the same person who had mistreated him years earlier. Both of them had suffered the effects of life. David noticed a strange jumble of feelings as they sipped their tea: forgiveness, empathy, and even a glimmer of sadness for Jack's predicament. It appeared as though the long-held resentment was gradually fading and being replaced by a fresh understanding. That night as they left the tea house, David had undergone a significant transformation. Jack was no longer his opponent. Instead, he was seen as a flawed human being who had committed errors, just like himself. David made a conscious effort to let go of his anger and rivalry toward Jack in the days that followed. Although he couldn't change the past, he could alter his feelings about it. He came to see that forgiveness was a gift to him as much as to Jack, since it would set him free from the long-lasting bonds of hate and enmity.